98FM's Dublin Talks with Adrian Kennedy.
Weekdays from 10am on 98FM.
Last week, Irish people were giving out yards and calling on Donald Trump, calling him all sorts of names because of his closed border policy and separating families trying to enter America. Those same people who were disgusted at his closed border policy are also disgusted that a group of migrants fleeing from the Middle East are heading to Ireland. The Irish government has said today that it will offer refuge to about 25 migrants who are currently on a boat stranded off the coast of Malta. The Lifeline boat has 234 migrants on board and has been refused permission to dock in a number of countries. Everyone is turning them away. Well, agreement has been reached with Malta that Ireland will be one of a number of EU countries to take the migrants once the Lifeline boat docks at Malta. The boat is expected to dock in the tiny little island in the next 48 hours. Now, the boat has been stranded for days in the Mediterranean without a place to dock after picking up the migrants in distress off the Libyan coast last week. Now, the news that Ireland is taking just 25, by the way. That's all we're taking in, just 25 migrants. That news has been met with a lot of anger. I want to read out just some of the messages that have appeared on social media over the last 24 hours. Ireland is taking 25 of these migrants off this Lifeline boat. 18% of the population are non-Irish. We send millions in foreign aid every year along with our soldiers on peacekeeping missions. People have accepted this. It should be okay to have an opinion on this without just flatly being labelled a racist, says Josh. Another message says, this country is a joke. We can't afford these people. Send them back to where they came. Well, they haven't arrived yet, Amy. But Ireland has agreed to take 25 of them. 50 next week, 100 next month, 500 in a few months' time. What was Mr. Flanagan thinking? And don't ever think I am a racist, said Tom. They're just some of the comments that have been posted on social media. So this is a boat that has been trying to get somewhere to dock. It's off the coast of Malta. And the Maltese have basically said, we'll let it dock once we know where they're going. And Ireland has said we will take 25 out of the 234 migrants on board this vessel. So what's that? 10%, is it? Yeah, nearly 10%, or just over 10%. Now it is, I suppose, if you think about it, 10% for the size of the European Union. We're being very generous, but still, it's only 25 people. Are you somebody who also objects to these 25 migrants being accepted into Ireland? Call me right now on 6797 981. Text or WhatsApp us on 0877 98 98 98. 0877 98 98 98. Danielle, you're on Dublin's 98FM. How are you, Danielle?
Hiya.
Danielle, these people on this boat, desperately fleeing from whatever country they left, we're going to take in 25 of them. Why are you not happy about that?
I just don't agree with it because there's a lot of homeless in the country already, and we have people up in hotels and hostels and stuff, and they're kind of overcrowded. So I don't see why the government are taking in these people, and they can't afford to look after their own.
And okay, so but 25 people is all we're talking about. It's not really a huge number, is it?
No, it's not a huge number, but if it was 25 Irish people or Irish families, it'd take a little bit out of the homeless crisis we have now. I know 25 is not a lot, but it'd mean a lot to other people.
Now, I know we have a homeless crisis. I know we have a lot of people without a permanent roof over their head. But most people who are homeless or who are categorised as homeless at least have a roof over their head.
Yeah.
Might be a hotel or it might be a B&B or whatever, but they have a roof over their head. These people on this boat have a boat. That's all they have. They have nothing else.
But then you have people over here on the street all the time, and then you can see them at the on the corners of town being fed by volunteers as well.
And I understand that is a problem. I know a lot of people believe that even in really good times, even without a housing shortage, you always have homeless people. You always have people living on the streets, whether they be drug addicts or alcoholics or whatever the case may be. That will always be there to a degree.
Yeah.
But you think we should look after our own, deal with our own issues first before taking any more migrants into Ireland?
Yeah, like I totally agree with them, like helping other countries and stuff like that. But I think they should kind of look after our own first before, and then like when all their problems, well, not problems are solved because they never will be.
No, exactly, yeah.
But I think when we're kind of settled and stuff like that, and there isn't much of a crisis that's going on now, then step in and take them in and stuff like that. But I just think it's wrong the way there's a lot of problems going on now, and then they're just adding more fuel to the fire by taking them in, I think.
I want to read a message to you and see what you say to this, Danielle, okay? And it says, have a heart, guys. These people have nothing at all. There are kids involved, for God's sake. Do the Irish thing, welcome them in. What if it was you in this situation? What do you say to that?
I agree with that message, and when kids and all, it's not right. It isn't at all. But when it's hard, like, because sometimes it's 25 coming in now, and then in a couple of months there could be more coming in, and they could be on to their other families saying, come to this country, it's great. They'll get medical cards, everything, and it's all coming out of people's taxes, to be honest, like.
All right, stay there for 1 second, please. 6797 981 is our telephone number. You can text or WhatsApp us, 0877 98 98 98. The government has announced that it is to take 25 migrants who are currently on a boat stranded off the coast of Malta. The Lifeline boat has 234 migrants on board, but has been refused permission to dock in a number of countries. Everyone is turning them away. Malta will let the boat dock as long as it knows what's going to happen with the people, and Ireland has said we will take 25. Adele, you're on 98FM. How are you, Adele?
Hey, how are you?
Good, thanks, Adele. What did you want to say on this?
Just actually a couple of points. The original text he called out about him, he was saying I'm not a racist. I wouldn't call him racist. I'd call him greedy. The whole idea of look, everyone, we're all human, and that's the end of it. There's no sense or pride in saying that they're not going to allow those people in to our country because this is where we pay our taxes and all this other crack, and they can't look after the homeless, all this other stuff. That is just all moot points as far as I'm concerned. Number one, we don't own our taxes. The government own our taxes, so it's not our taxes. So what they do with it is really none of our business. That's my opinion. And yeah, as for the last girl there, she was talking about homeless crisis as well. That all came from greed as well. It was greedy landlords, it was greedy bankers, it was greedy business people in general. And the government are trying their best to clean it up. Now, I'm not pro-government by any sense of the word, but they're doing an okay job. They're trying with what they have, and it's getting better.
It is getting better, although it's very slow in getting better.
It is slow, but in fairness, there's a lot of other challenges that the entire world is facing at the moment. So it's a difficult time in general. Particularly even with all the migrant issues as well. There's a lot going on in the world at the minute, and there's a lot of challenges that need to be faced. And look, there's only 24 hours in a day.
Now, I read out some of the commentary on social media, and that's only some of it. There was a lot more. You hardly think we should just throw open our borders, do you?
No, absolutely not. What I mean to say is obviously open borders would be an absolute disaster. And I'm assuming that is why they're taking the 25. They're not going, oh, sure, look, give us all 200 or whatever of it is. They're doing it responsibly, and obviously there is only so much that a country can offer to additional bodies. But look, 25 is nothing. And yeah, I get the whole, it'll be 25 this month, it's 50 next month. I think so long as it is feasible, at the end of the day, whatever little Ireland can offer these people, it's obviously better from where they were. And to be quite frank as well, like my main concern, not to sound all, someone do you think of the children, but my main concern is the children. And, what are they going to do? They're going to put all the children on a boat and ship them out and leave all the adults. That's not feasible either. You can't blame these people looking for a better life. And who's to say that those migrants, as people are calling them, could come into this country and end up really, really benefiting society? Like, you can't.
All right.
Like, for example, one of those migrants could be the doctor that saves your child's life in 10 years. And you
Absolutely, yes, I agree. Danielle, what about that? I mean, you don't know what sort of people they are, and one of those people could come into this country and could save your child's life in 10 years.
That's the thing as well. You don't know, because I don't think the background checks when they come into the country. I think it's just from when they're here, and they can come over here and then.
But you saw, I don't know if you saw the video of the what happened in France a couple of weeks ago, where a guy who was an immigrant actually climbed up a bloody building to save a child.
Well, that's great, but you can't they just come in and then, a lot of them don't work. I live in an area where a lot of them is being housed. I live in a council estate, and there's a lot of them in the council estate, and they're living in the house illegally. There's probably 17 of them in the house, and they're renting the house out, and it's not the actual tenant of the house. There's different people in and out all the time, and they're renting it at a higher expense. And they're driving BMWs and Audis every couple of months, but yet they're always on the road. You never see them going to work or coming back or anything like that.
All right, stay there for 1 second. I have to take a very quick break. Our telephone number is 6797 981. You can text or WhatsApp us on 0877 98 98 98. 0877 98 98 98. We're talking about the decision by the Irish government to take in 25 of the migrants from this ship, which is stranded off the coast of Malta. But people are very unhappy over 25 people being offered a lifeline. Jason, you're on 98FM. How are you, Jason?
How you doing, Adrian?
Good, thanks, Jason. What did you want to say on this?
Well, first of all, right, Libya is in dire straits at the moment.
It is, yeah.
Inverted commas, American democracy came in and destroyed the country that was prospering and booming. Anyway, there are people being sold in live slave auctions over there at the moment, yeah? For slaves. They're being chained up in a line and they're being sold with slavery. People escaping this, Adrian, are not migrants. They're refugees. And the term migrants, I think, just implies that they're migrating and they're seeking work elsewhere. It's not a case. They're fleeing desperate circumstances, okay? And some of these ships out in the sea, I think there was a case where one of them sank before. I don't think it was from Libya or somewhere else. One of them sank before and a lot of them drowned. Okay, and people are up in arms and, oh God, this is terrible, it's terrible. Half of these people that start the sentence with, I'm not racist, but, well, why do they feel the need to say they're not racist? Coming out with garbage that they're coming out, oh, we need to look after our own. What are they doing to look after their own? I'm a taxpayer, I've worked since I'm 15. I don't mind my tax going towards helping people in dire straits and in need. And yeah, we do need to help our own too. But we can still help others. We don't have to open our borders. But 25 people, come on, that's ridiculous.
Now, somebody texted in a couple of minutes ago to say that, we've already taken in 4,000 from Syria.
Yeah.
We haven't. And I just want to clarify that. The government committed to taking in 4,000 people from Libya back in 2015. So 3 years ago, we agreed to take in 4,000. But so far, less than 2,000 have come here. So we haven't even done what we said we'd do 3 years ago. But 25 off a boat like this, coming from a country like Libya, you think is the least we can do?
Of course. I mean, I wish people would just try and imagine what it must be like on a boat with your kids, fleeing horrible circumstances, and then getting told, oh, we're not being allowed to dock here, we're not getting off, we're going to go somewhere else. Do you know what I mean? I mean, can you imagine your own kids having to go through that?
Well, stay there for 1 second. Because, Barry, the attitude from some people is absolutely disgusting. You there, Barry?
Yeah, I'm here. No, my comment is, you had Simon called me on the RT News last night, saying that these 25 will spend little or no time in a refugee centre and will be housed. Mm-hmm. Okay. What about the people that have been here 10 years on the waiting list and in bed and breakfast and everything? these will be housed. So does that mean they're going to be skipping the housing list to make Ireland look good for the European Union?
No, what it means is that the government is obviously going to approve their residency status straight away, rather than them waiting for years to be approved, because of the dire circumstances from which they've come.
The NGOs are fishing these people couples of miles off the coast of Africa, and then travelling a day or two to ports with them. At the end of the day, was the Dublin Agreement not to be where the people land first is where they register for asylum?
And that's why the boat wasn't able to dock anywhere. Hang on, no. That's why countries wouldn't take the boat. They wouldn't allow it to dock.
Why the people won't take the boats anymore is, through Angela Merkel, over time, the past year or two, people have realised what is happening with immigration into Europe. And diversity is not working in Europe. Other European countries like Italy have decided, why have they gone to a far-right government? Because they are fed up with the crime rate and all the
but hang on, Barry. Hang on. But Italy is one of the countries that has said it will take some off this boat. Italy.
Yeah, take some off it.
Yes.
But they're fed up with taking all the boats. And this is now, Spain took one. Now the Dublin Agreement, which we all was voted in law, said first where you land is where you look for.
Who voted that? We didn't vote that. What are you talking about? The Dublin Agreement, we all voted.
The European Union voted it. That's who voted it.
You didn't vote for it.
I know I didn't, because through
Europe we all voted for it. Have a bit of compassion.
Hang on a minute. Are we not all Europeans now, according to you? We're all the same family.
Have a bit of compassion for people. Yeah, we're all human.
I have got compassion, but I also have compassion. I have compassion for the Irish people as well.
Of course you do.
So as far as I'm concerned, you clean your own house first before you go to your neighbours. And as soon as my own house is clean, there's nothing wrong with taking them in, but not giving them status above people here already.
Status. Give them a bleeding safety from a crisis.
Give them safety from a crisis.
Not of their own doing, by the way.
Hang on. Some of these people are coming from African countries and coming through Libya. Not even from Libya. They're coming through there.
And some of them are coming from countries.
They're not refugees no more. They're actual migrants.
Well, okay, stay there for 1 second. The government have said that they are taking in 25 of these people. Maria, you're on 98FM. Hi, Maria.
Hi, Adrian.
Maria, you think they should be welcomed with open arms?
Oh, absolutely. I don't know the name of the mister who was talking now.
Well, we've two. Barry is that man's name, yes.
Yeah, Barry. See, Barry, you are born into privilege. You're born in Europe, you see. It doesn't matter what even education is a privilege for us. Like, we all get basic education, while there you have to work hard or you have to be lucky to get educated. Those people who are coming, they are rich because you have to pay to get here. It's not that they just jump on a boat and come over, and they are fleeing from war and, as the previous said, slavery, literally. We are all, even if we're on the street here under a palm tree, well, we don't have palm trees, but in Italy or Spain, you are way luckier than to live in any of those countries, even if you're rich, or like they're saving their children, literally. Like, their children will learn in 1-2 years English, and they'll be fully workforce when they're by the age of 18.
Okay, so you believe that the Irish are being very heartless, do you?
Yes. Like, can you imagine Second World War, where a lot of Irish people flee to America, and America would have said, sorry, we're not letting you in, float back with the boat. You understand? It was war. It was war here. Americans had no obligation of taking us in. Probably 1,000, 10,000, maybe even 100,000 Irish went over there. And the only reason, I think, it's actually, I'm quoting now a movie, I think it's the Gangs of New York, where Leonardo DiCaprio, parents are not let into the country because they have measles or chicken pox or something. And they put their child onto a little floating, a souvenir boat that they get off the ferry, and just float their baby, hoping he will land and live forever, like properly. This is ridiculous. Like, we are all, as I said, born into privilege.
Okay,
and
so
the
your
people who come,
belief
they're not-
is that we shouldn't even be thinking twice about this. It should be
Yes, we
absolutely we'll take them in.
Yeah, because you see, the lady was talking there about her neighbours, who are renting the house out, and 100 of them living in one house or something. They're not from Africa or from Syria. They're probably the same European Union, other countries there, like, I don't know, Croatia or Romanians or something like that. Maybe Polish. You know, I don't want to name any countries, but I mean, like, can be even like Irish people do that. It's not that they can't afford to do that, because they will be sent out of the country, and who wants to go back to the war, they're not risking it with that. And immigrants are put into...
you believe that the attitude that we've been hearing is a heartless one. Let me go to Peter. You're on 98 FM. How are you, Peter?
How are you doing?
Good, Peter. You were annoyed with what Jason was saying.
I'm not so much annoyed. It's just the fact where you said, why do people have to say they're not racist before they make them? Well, you have to say that, because people feel they're just constantly getting bashed. They're racist, knuckle draggers, blah, blah. People have genuine concerns, and they're not looking at the bigger picture.
Okay, so just because you disapprove of the government allowing these 25 people into Ireland doesn't mean you're racist. Is that the point you're making?
Exactly. I'm far from a racist. I have no problem with anyone from a foreign country, Muslims, any of them. The problem is, that's how you get shot down. They just call you racist, so you can't discuss it.
Okay, Jason, what do you say to that? That just because you might be against this doesn't make you a racist.
Yeah, okay, well, that's a fair point.
People nowadays, Jason, people nowadays feel they have to clarify that they're not racist before they make a comment.
More importantly, they're afraid to say anything because they don't want to be branded.
It's usually let's look after our own brigade first, but they never do
You
anything
see, he's just branded.
to look after our own.
See that whole what he just said there? He just branded the brigade, look after our own brigade. People have genuine concerns. They're not looking at the wider picture here. Yes,
what's the wider picture?
It's 25 people coming out. Big deal. That's not going to affect that. Look at England now to see where we'll be in 10, 20 years' time. That's the issue.
Which is what?
There's whole towns in England that are majority... You wouldn't tell if you're in Pakistan or England. That's the way it is. That's what people are afraid of here. They're afraid of seeing... What? Sorry?
Why? What's the fear?
The town that you live in now, right? You wake up one morning, you look out, you can't tell whether you're in Pakistan or Ireland. But that doesn't bother you.
Why would it bother me?
Well, what do you mean why it wouldn't bother you?
No, tell me how that would bother you. Tell me how that would bother you.
Because this is the country that I know and I want and I love, and it's the way I want it to be. Why should I...
All white people?
No, see what you just did there. We already said, I have no problem.
You look out your window, you don't know whether you're in Pakistan or whether you're in Dublin.
Let me get to my point. My point is, if somebody comes over here through the legal route, sets up base, no problem.
Which is what they're doing.
If they start taking over towns, which is literally what's happened in England, and to deny it is just a lie, you're deluded, but if they start taking over towns, put in a mosque, for instance, then more come, then they there's towns in England that have 30 plus mosques.
So it's Muslims you object?
No, it's not Muslims.
No, I understand I understand what you're trying to get at. That if a certain group from a certain grouping, be they Muslims or whatever, start congregating in a whole one town, that's where you have a problem.
Exactly.
Right. Okay. Fair enough. But that's
nothing
to do.
I work with foreign people all the time. I have no problem. I will talk to anyone, treat them like they treat me, no problem.
So what you're saying is they can come in as long as they don't congregate?
No, I have a problem with taking in thousands in one go. It just doesn't make any sense.
Okay, but in this case we're talking about 25.
Yeah, I already said we don't want to open the whole borders and just have an open door policy. Nobody's saying that.
But all of the people that are not knuckle draggers and not racist, they want open borders. They have no problem. Come on, I see it all the time on Facebook. So why can't they come in? They're not looking at the bigger picture.
Okay, stay there and let me bring in one last call, and that is Rachel. You're on 98 FM. Hi, Rachel.
Hi, Adrian. How are you? I'm absolutely disgusted listening to that man.
Why?
With you. Because
one, you're talking about people coming from what they are coming from. Do you know what I mean? You have Irish going to Australia, you have Irish going to Canada in droves. You have people literally, this man would be the very man that would not complain when someone from these countries comes over, gets a job and is serving them food or is serving them behind a counter. They won't complain then because the Irish won't do them jobs. Do you know what I mean? But this very man will complain because there's 20 people coming over to get out of what they're leaving behind. What they're leaving behind isn't a life of luxury, isn't riches. Who would leave that? Do you know what I mean? People migrate and get out of these countries for a reason. For a reason. A genuine reason.
Peter, do you not accept that a lot of these people have desperate, dire reasons for being on that boat?
And just bringing North Africa into Europe is not going to fix their problems. It's not going to fix their problems. There has some other solution
in England, but this isn't England. This is Ireland.
Throughout history, if you ever want to know what Ireland's going to be like in 10 years, you look at the UK. It's always been the same.
No, because you know what? Here's the thing. Listen, Ireland is how we make it, okay? And you're saying you're not racist. You're not all this. But what it is that you are actually judging these people just on other countries, how things have gone in other countries. And I get what you mean by how it's kind of went in history and stuff like that. But if we welcome these people in, we show these that, listen, here, hang on a minute, you know what I mean? What you've left is not right for any person that's leave. No one in their right mind anywhere in the world would take up their kids across the sea, put their lives at risk.
And Rachel, you obviously get angry then when you hear people saying we have to look after our own first.
Well, do you know what? Here's the gas part about it. I do believe we do still need to look after our own. We still need to do it. But it can be done jointly. It can be done. You've 25 people. Like, you put one in each county in Ireland. It's not even covering every county in the whole of Ireland. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's a drop in the ocean. Do you know what I mean? But, like, at the end of the day, it's like, it doesn't mean you forget your own. It doesn't mean you forget your own. It just means you help with everyone joins together.
All right.
Do you know what I mean?
Rachel.
It can be done, and it can be done fairly.
All right, thank you very much, Lee, for your call, and Jason and Peter, thank you all of you for your calls. Unbelievable response to that, which just shows that it does touch on a raw nerve on both sides as to whether or not we should be taking in these 25 migrants. Anyway, this is 98FM's Dublin Talks.
98FM's Dublin Talks with Adrian Kennedy.
Weekdays from 10 a.m. on 98.